What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video, and today, it is finally time that we do an analysis video for a Senate race going on this fall. That is right, folks, we're finally, after all these primary elections, having the first video discussing the general election for one of these states. That's kind of a shocker that we're in August, and this is the first time that we're discussing a general election for one of these races. Now, obviously, the Ohio primary was months ago, but I think it is time that, with things settled down, we know who the nominees are, etc., and with the election coming up closer by the day, it is time that we finally start talking about the general elections for each of these states. Now, obviously, my Senate prediction video, I kind of went over, Vance is going to win by, 10 points or so. But there's been a lot of crap going around, so I decided, you know what, let's start this debunking today. Now, before I forget, of course, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes. Also, follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And, also join the channel today. That is right, folks, for just 10 cents a day, you can join Real American Politics. And, well, you technically don't get anything. You get a good feeling in your heart knowing, hey, I support Real American Politics. So, hope you join Real American Politics today. Of course, click that join button down below, and you join Real American Politics. Alright, folks, it is time that we finally do an analysis video on the Ohio Senate race. Obviously, I did a primary analysis video when the primaries were happening, but this is solely focused on the general election. So this race is between the Trump-endorsed J.D. Vance, who crushed everybody, versus the Tim Ryan Democrat, or Democrat known as Tim Ryan. I mixed up the order there, don't sue me. And this is a race a lot of people are talking about. And folks, some of these people that are, saying that this race would be competitive and crap is complete nonsense. So this is why I'm making this video. This garbage of, Ryan up by 4 points in 538, it's over. Guys, how many times do I have to tell you, alright, with polling, especially in a state like Ohio? In a nutshell, never, ever, ever trust polling in Ohio, unless it's from, Richard Barris or something like that. Especially this far out. Again, I made videos on it already, but if you don't know, in the summer, historically Republicans have a response bias. They don't answer polls. And that's why you're seeing, partially, why you're seeing Tim Ryan surge in the polls. It's total nonsense what's happening with these polls. And you look at these polls done in Ohio, look who's doing them. Momentive, a Democrat pollster, of course, sponsored by Center Street PAC, that cringy, true Republican organization. Impact Research, Ryan Campaign Poll. Look at this. Freaking John Bolton Super PAC poll. You could keep going. They're all Democrat pollsters. We have not seen a single poll that I'm aware of from a non-partial pollster, somebody like Trafalgar, like Richard Barris, anybody, not even Emerson has polled this race yet. It's only been essentially Democrat internals. And that's why Ryan is winning by 4 or 5 points. Complete, total nonsense. Guys, Ohio is the most Republican trending seat, or state I should say, in the country. This idea that's going to magically swing back is ludicrous. Here's what's happening, alright, with Ohio polling. Again, the response bias is real, but also, if you do not weigh these polls properly, you can mess up the polls horribly. And this is what I mean. So let's say, you expect 50, or let's just give an example. Let's say 5% of the poll is coming from Appalachia. You weigh it by 5%. If the turnout's by 7%, the poll's going to be off by so many points because Ohio has such a weird turnout metrics where it's like, okay, You mess up turnout by 1%, you could get the entire poll off horribly. And that is why you should also only look for likely voter polls. And of course, the likely voter polls have the race significantly closer. So that's what I'm saying. These polls have a weighting problem, a sample error, a huge one. I mean, seriously, you polled only 500 people for a general election. If this was a primary, that's reasonable. This isn't. So I recommend people just throw this all out. Just throw all this out for now until somebody like even Emerson pulls the race. So there's that. But we also have to look at where we're going to really see the biggest reason why I think Vance is going to win easily. Number one, the turnout. Look at this. And I know the Democrat primary really didn't have that competitive race. They technically did for the governorship, but for the Senate race, you can make the argument they really didn't have turnout because, well, this was non-competitive. Ryan was going to win this race easily. But even then, Republicans got almost double the amount of votes Democrats got. Think about that for a second. Double. J.D. Vance alone got almost more votes than every Democrat combined. If you give him 170,000, he would have got more votes. Think about that. In essentially a three-way race, Vance almost got more votes than all the Democrats combined. He flat out basically tied Ryan when he was all by himself. That is nuts to think about. Now, as for the election itself, there are parts of the state that I do recommend people watch out for, and why I think the state's going to go heavily Republican. So, with Ohio, obviously, they're a part of the state that used to be a Democrat stronghold, northeastern Ohio. If you don't know northeastern Ohio, it's a blue-collar, working-class area. Mahoning County, this is where Youngstown is. Columbia, Stark, Portage, etc. These counties up here, for years, have been Republican or Democrat strongholds. But in recent years, in the Trump era for the Republican Party, he flipped all these counties. Place like Mahoning County flipped to Trump. This is a county Bill Clinton got like 70% of the vote in 1996. Almost 70% of the vote, Trump flipped it. It's a white working class part of the country, and these people work. And for years, they've been Democrat voters, because Democrats in the past used to be those that fought for working Americans. Not so much anymore. And a lot of these voters up here, they're ancestral Democrats. And sure, right, here's a big if. Sure, they may have voted Democrat for years, right, down ballot. They started voting for Trump, though. And I truly believe these voters in northeastern Ohio, they're going to start voting down ballot Republican. When that happens, it doesn't matter if Tim Ryan can get absurd turnout in Franklin County and Cuyahoga or Hamilton, which, by the way, he won't because Vance is from the Cincy area. If this part of the state just trends Republican like I expected to, even in Mahoning County, which is part of Ryan's district, Ryan is screwed. I mean, this is what people need to understand. I mean, Mahoning County is a big part of the vote share for Democrats for years. If Vance gets within 5, Ryan's going to lose by like 8 or 9 points. That's the biggest reason. And this is part of the state that's trending more and more Republican. So it's completely ludicrous to think that, oh, Vance is going to somehow, do terrible up here. Which, by the way, he did pretty good up here in the primary. And the rest of the state, you look at the Cincy area. This is a part of the state that Vance is essentially from. So that gives him a bonus as well. So the only parts of the state this cycle that I could see trending Democrat is the Columbus area and maybe parts of Cleveland. Maybe. And you start doing some math, where the Democrats supposed to get votes from? And plus with Republican turnout being ridiculous in Appalachia, and with Republican trends in northeastern Ohio, there's literally no pathway for Ryan. When you do basic math, you just do basic math, you realize Vance has this race in the bag. It's a matter of how much. And you start thinking and realizing, sure, Tim Ryan may be spending millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, But end of the day, the best I could see Ryan doing is losing by like 6 or 7 points. More than likely, Vance can win closer by 10 points. So there's really nothing Democrats can do here except waste your money. Please do that. Spend as much money as you possibly can here and get slapped. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes, of course, go follow the mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.